Hello everyone, welcome back to another daily Marvel Snap live stream. So thank you everyone that was jumping in and was waiting for us to go live. I appreciate you all jumping in for our lunch live stream. Today we are going to be playing some more Thor deck that we featured on our video from today. So it was from the user the Odinson. Hey Zoma, hey Alexander, and hey Joshua, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a great day so far. It was from a user named the Odinson, which I thought was very fitting for the deck list. He has been putting in some crazy numbers in our recent event, so Heroes for Hire. And I had the pleasure of talking to him, and he gave me some tips and pointers. A very nice guy, but the deck list feels phenomenal. It's not necessarily flashy or exciting. Hey, West D4, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. It's not necessarily flashy or just, it's not going to be a extreme high roll deck, but it's very consistent at what it does. And that is what it is designed and intended to do. Hey Sai, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. Hey Ralph, just unlocked Cosmo. Any suggestions? Cosmo's pretty decent in a destroyer type deck. That way you can follow up that way you have a couple of different ways to protect your cards from the destroyer. Hey Zach, how's it going? Oh my gosh, Alex, thank you so much. I'd probably say it's about 70% chance that I forget at the start of our streams to ever switch the scenes. I can't even imagine how some of them that do a lot of scene switches, how they function. So thank you. Thank you so much. Oh man. Hey Zach, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. Hey Jeremy, thank you so much for jumping in. And so a lot of times I like to hold Angela until a little bit later, but since we're going to be shuffling our cards into our deck after this turn, and actually Asgard won't really make any difference whether we win it or not. Unless actually the locations trigger from left to right, yeah? Wes, zeros for Maximus or for our Wasp, just for a decent power push. It helps if we have all of those cards in our hand at on the last turn to drop a surprise Max Lane Angela. And so it's a cheap card, and it helps enable Maximus for us as well. Hey Akshay, how's it going? And then hey Alex, thank you so much for jumping in. I'm glad that you're back. I don't know if we'll get the upside from Asgard here or not. I think the first location will shuffle our cards first, and then Asgard will trigger. Oh, never mind. It's after turn 4. So we will shuffle them now, and then after this turn, we will potentially draw if we're winning. Smelling a very positive stream. That is the goal for today, Ralph. With this deck list, it is very consistent, or it should be. I don't want to speak too highly of it, and then we tank it. But I do have a good feeling for some pretty positive gains for the stream. So we're gonna drop Thor into the Asgard lane. They do have a lockjaw for that rotation. They could potentially high roll it here, but I don't think we have anything to risk by playing it there. We can drop our Jane Foster in the left lane after this turn. Ooh, so they hit I don't know that we can compete with 35 power in Asgard. That may end up being like a retreat type scenario. We're not going to be able to push that big of numbers, I don't think, because 8 here would actually be 10, which would be 23. We will draw into our Mjolnir, which would be another 6, so it'd be 29. And then we would still need to make up 6 more. Actually, we can do it, right? Maybe we do. That guarantees that we lock down Asgard, and then winning Attilan is gonna be a little challenging. But I think we play it like this anyways. We at least know their power level in Asgard. And then Dracula, we know to avoid that one. So we just need to push for the left and the far right. Zoma, I do not have Maximus. What can I use in his place? Typhoid Mary, so I can combo her. So if you don't have Maximus, I would probably sub out both Zero and Maximus for some other, anywhere from 1 to 3 cost cards to keep your curve around the same. maybe some counter cards, so potentially like a Shang-Chi, an Enchantress, depending on what you're seeing on the meta, may work out well for you, Zoma. And so here, we're 23. This will make us 29. And then dropping any card here will make us 31. So we just need 5 more. So if we do Bishop, that's 2, and then that makes it 3. And actually, let's 4, 5, and then 6. Oh no, we don't have enough. We don't have enough energy to do that, do we? So in that case, no 0. We do Maximus and Wasp. That should push us for the lead in Asgard. That gives us a decent amount of power in the far left lane. I'm not too late for today. No, you caught us right at the beginning, Akaichu. Hey, me, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. That gives us an okay amount of power. And if we had more time, I would push Nightcrawler here for the 1 additional power, but we may end up losing this one. I don't know that that is enough of a power push to hold it down. Ooh, actually, the Magneto is rough there, since we did invest additional resources. Hey, Slicks, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far.
Mjolnir, to me.
And then Taylor, yeah, we are live. We may go down as a negative at the very start here, depending on what Dracula draws into. I imagine that it's going to be a pretty large card. Oh, no way! So it was Scarlet Witch, but we still lose the difference between the two. That was, with the Magneto pulling our Thor out, that was a lot closer than it should have been. Had we dropped anything else here, we would have actually ended up winning, but we weren't planning on competing for Hellfire Club. They threw us for a bit of a loop with Magneto there. And so we're going to go down as a -4 to start off the stream, but that is okay. Yesterday we started out like -12. And then we came back to positive to end it. Hey Zone, hi from Taiwan. I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us. And then Jeremy, you just got Dracula. You've been having some really good pull 3 pulls to start, haven't you? And then we have Q, he is currently 4 for 4 against us in our lunch live streams. So let's see if we can break that trend. But yeah, and Dracula's a pretty good card. You definitely need something to make sure that you trigger it in a high value way. So something like a large mini deck, a cycle deck, would both be pretty good. And then we have Clary's. Yeah, she's roaming around for some reason right now. Hold on. Please. Nope. Okay. We were going to try and highlight her a little bit, but she decided she didn't want to. I think we move our Daredevil and our Nightcrawler into Gamma Lab. I don't think Daredevil is necessarily all that important for us to keep a lead. And that would give us 2 Thors, or two Hulks after this, which would be a pretty good power push. Let's see. At Ralph, good job, mate. We were in the same team. Pulled Invisible Woman Alex yesterday, created a Hella deck, went from 73 to 69 in a couple of games. You'll get there. I think you'll definitely be able to get there. I don't think we do the 0 here. I don't want to take the chance. Our priority play next turn is going to be Thor to kind of curve into our plays. And then we do have the Thor and Jane Foster. We have Limbo. I think it's worth it to just hold 0 for now. Hey Gary, how's it going? Akaichu, Clarice always likes that spot and looks sad. She likes the sunlight that comes through it. But I do agree, it's definitely one of her favorite spots. She is there almost every single one of our lunch live streams. So we're gonna play Thor into the Limbo location. That way we can try to push to be competitive there. We do have a slight advantage in Gamma Lab. Okay, so Sandman's not too terrible for us, because we do have kind of the high roll cards. But if they draw into and they're running a Shang-Chi, that could be a problem in Gamma Lab. So I think maybe we drop our Jane Foster into Shadowland. We're not going to be able to make great use of our Mjolnir here, and Q is going for 5 with the Sandman counter. Maybe we can push enough power anyways. But if they do have the Shang-Chi, so they have Leech, which is definitely a hard counter for the Mjolnir, for the Max. It helps for the Maximus, but the Iron Man we're not going to be able to push as much power anymore. And those are actually all of our high power cards. And so after this, I mean, maybe we do... Nope, Sunspot won't absorb energy anymore. That puts us in a pretty tough spot. Where do we anticipate their power? Taylor, I've been reading Norse mythology lately. Thor and Odin are kind of a-holes. So maybe they deserve to get brought down to size a little bit here. Depending on where they plan to drop power. Because we can't drop Mjolnir, it won't buff him up anymore because it got leeched. Let's lock in the right-hand side to see if that's where we need to push some power. Ooh, and so then they use a Destroyer, which wipes out their deck. Interesting. It clears their board a bit. So now we can play multiple cards. But is it enough? Without having Iron Man, is it going to be enough of a push for us? We can do a couple of cards here just in case they do. So 3, that'd end up being 5 power just in case they do a Shang-Chi in the middle location. This one may be a loss, guys. The Leech really hit us incredibly hard. The Sandman for at least a couple of turns was pretty potent as well. So maybe we do some power here, we do a little bit of power here, and we just kind of throw the rest of our cards onto the board because it won't matter the rest of the play. Do we stick this one out? We've been pretty hard countered. If we weren't streaming, I would probably retreat, knowing that they have the upper hand. But I think I want to see it play out all the way till the end. If Q is going to win, they're going to have to earn it all the way to the very end. So let's go ahead and lock that in. Mjolnir won't still trigger, no. So Mjolnir is actually so it's an on reveal, and so since it's been leeched, it doesn't have that on reveal ability anymore. And so the leader won't actually do it for him, right? Good deal. So we were a little scared. Actually, I was a lot scared. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was very, very scared. But we stuck it out. The leader wasn't able to pull up over their Hulks. So we were able to stick it out for the win there. We are back to even. Yeah, Taylor. I thought, and it really depends on how they worded it, right? Because if they said whenever a Mjolnir is played for like an ongoing bonus on Thor himself, then it would trigger. But since it's an actual on reveal ability, it won't. But that enables you to do some cool things with like an Odin play, or into Kamartage where it double triggers. You can really get some really large Thors pretty easily. You didn't draw your Shang-Chi. That's why we queued. It was a very good game. We finally snuck one away on the stream from you. I think that, what is that, 1 in 5, or 1 for us, 4 for you now, so 1 out of 5. That's why we played Angela and Scorpion in mid, just in case you had Shang-Chi. I was thinking that would be probably your next play, knowing how hard your decks typically counter like some like greedy play. And so usually you have a lot of good answers for those. But very, very good game. I'm glad we were finally able to snag one away from you. And so we'd have Sunspot here. We can do our Daredevil in the same lane. Then we can kind of play it by ear a little bit. So they play Angela into Clintar, which is going to... Space Throne's not great for us unless we draw into... Thor. And so I'm actually going to play our Nightcrawler into Space Throne. That way we have the protection in case they want to do something cheeky like a Green Goblin. they're not going to be able to send us anything, then we can always shift them out when we're ready to play our card into that location. And then the rest, I think we're just going to let get absorbed by Sunspot. If we don't draw into anything better or a better play line, next turn we can do a 0 and a Maximus. We draw into our Thor. Okay. So what do you guys think? I think Thor is probably going to be the play in Space Throne. That's going to be... I was trying to pull Nightcrawler back into our hand. It's a rough Friday out here, guys. So I think I'm going to move Nightcrawler. I don't know if I want... I don't know that we want him in Clintar, but we also don't want him in Titan, really. Because I'd rather have something like a Jane Foster and a Maximus, a Jane Foster and an Iron Man. So I think we place him into Clintar, just probably avoiding this lane for the rest of the game. But Thor in Space Throne, we can do Jane Foster. If we draw into our Iron Man, that'd be a huge win condition in Titan for us. Hey Pilk, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us. And thank you everyone that has liked the live stream. If you are enjoying the lunch lives, make sure that you give it a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm get the stream and the videos out to a wider audience so that we can have more community members come in and have a good time with us. Tarfari, how do you set up your OBS with elements arrangements like you do? After this game, I'll kind of look at it. Are you talking about like the borders? Or like the stream alerts and things like that. So they're going to play Sarah, so they're going to have the potential to swarm the board next turn. The strong guy's not going to do it for him, right? That's 10 power. We're going to guarantee that we have Mjolnir. Let's go ahead and snap. We have a pretty good shot here. If we don't draw into Iron Man, Maximus is going to be a good secondary card in Titan. If we draw into Iron Man, then we get an even bigger upside in Titan. So let's go ahead and lock that in. Albert, hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. Nightcrawler is buffed for me. We can return him back to our hand whenever we want to. So here we're gonna do Mjolnir. We don't draw into Iron Man here, so to do a big power push, I think we still do the 0 and Maximus just in case. Just in case they extend the game with a magic, which is possible. But that puts all of our power into the left-hand lane. They're going to be able to kind of assess from there. But we'll be able to continue to absorb power with our Sunspot, so I think it's still a safe play. If they do extend it, we'll be able to absorb 7 more power into the Titan lane. So let's go ahead and lock it in. Pilk, all I need is 0 for this deck. Pulled Moon Knight earlier. I really enjoy Moon Knight. I feel like he's kind of in a tricky spot though, but I enjoy running him in like a mill and destroy style deck. And then is it Thor getting the buff? Yeah, Thor will get the buff from dropping Mjolnir. And so then he comes up, and even if they empty their hand and they get a 10 power strong guy, our 12 power should beat him. Oh, so they did have Iron Man, right? So we end up... Ooh, that's not what I anticipated. Oh my gosh, we are bouncing back and forth today. We're not getting good reads on necessarily power levels. I really didn't anticipate the Iron Man and then the double discard play to be able to compete with us here. So funny enough, had we not dropped 0... I guess maybe not funny. If we had not dropped 0 for that 1 energy, we would have won. Hey Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. So had we had that 1 extra energy for Sunspot to absorb, then yeah, we would have won. Unfortunate. We're gonna go ahead and go down to -4. And then Akaichu, I'm so sad today because I got Mr. Negative in second account. Oh yeah, I've pulled him on my second account as well. Maybe you can do some like lower end style builds with him. And then thank you again, Alex, for the super chat. And so Tafari, you were talking about like the elements. Were you talking about like the text down towards the bottom? Hey Jeremiah, thank you so much for the gifted subs. And so for any of the viewers in here that are not members, if you click on the gifted sub in the chat, you may have to click on allow gifted subs to be able to receive one. I realized that the other day when I was kind of digging further into the YouTube streaming platform. Thank you so much, Jeremiah. We are negative today so far, but you guys are keeping it positive to end the week. And so for the elements, each of these like cubes on the sides are actually different like screen captures. So we're capturing the game. So one time here, one time here, one time over here, and then another time up here to get all of the different elements, and then one time for the main screen. So right now, since they don't have a dedicated PC client, it's kind of wonky setting up, but once they have a dedicated client, it should be a lot easier. It should be just like one main screen capture. Why not Angela, Mjolnir, and Zero in mid? Ricardo, that may have been a better play line to push some power there. I didn't think we were going to be able to compete for the Clintar lane with them having the Angela and the Sarah already in place. Did you already make the hair emote? Yeah, so we did make the Spider-Woman hair emote. So if you receive one of the gifted memberships, you will have the Spider-Woman hair. Let's see if we can go back to neutral. And then again, Alex, you said your efforts must be rewarded somehow. I really do appreciate that because we do spend quite a bit of time with the editing. Of course, it's something that we enjoy doing. So it's like even if you weren't able to contribute or give back, it's not absolutely required. I just appreciate that you guys are enjoying the content, but definitely any kind of support is greatly appreciated. And so, Pilk Enjoyer, I looked today and I've spent around 500 AUD on Marvel Snap. So I think to rush to the end of the collection, I spent around $500 US, maybe 600. Which is a lot. Normally I don't spend that on really any games, but I wanted to push for the content for you guys, and I was really enjoying it, so I don't mind giving back at least some. So from here on out, I'm more of a dolphin, where I'll pay for like the premium pass and things like that, but I don't know that I like invest hugely into the game any further, since we're already at a state where we're pretty far along. Dominic, I finally hit Infinite last night, thanks in part to watching you. That's so awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to hit Infinite and that you're able to kind of improve your gameplay from from the content that I create. So congratulations on Infinite. I know this season in particular, it has been harder than for me anyways than any of the other seasons. It feels like a lot of like cards have been solidified, a lot of meta decks, and so it was much more of a grind this season. So I almost want to stack some of our power in Stark Tower to really lock that one down, and then we can do the Angela, we can do Wasp, we can do Maximus and Mjolnir into the Superflow towards the end to really push a lot of power for to swing that lane. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in Jane Foster in the left-hand side.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Hey, Zombie Lemon, thank you so much for... Oh, well, that may be is that part of the gifted? Either way, thank you so much for being here and being part of the team. And so if that's not part of the gifted, let me know. I appreciate you guys nonetheless. Hey, Jesus, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. And then has someone done the math on the chances of not drawing Wasp until you play Jane Foster? I haven't. I haven't done the math necessarily, but I do like Wasp as, like, let's say we hold our Angela until the very last turn here. Wasp is going to allow us to do Angela, Mjolnir, Wasp, Maximus to get a 7 power Angela, as well as pushing some decent power into the lane, even without having the upside from having her be drawn from Jane Foster. Super supporter, not gifted. I was gonna wait for Twitch, but you seem yeah. Thank you so much for the support. Yeah, so it seems like I had more support over on YouTube, and then we had a stream a couple days ago where it got laggy because I was trying to stretch the stream a little bit too far. I think the bandwidth was hitting a point where it was capped out. So I'm just going to do that for now. And so then I decided to kind of transition and fully focus on one platform. I think it's cooler for me. Hey, thank you so much, Possibly Awkward,
Welcome.
for the new membership. And I'm still getting used to the layout of YouTube, so I don't know which ones are part of the 5 gifted and which ones are just you guys showing your love and support. And so either way, thank you guys so much for being here and enjoying the content with us. So I think we're going to do something like this. We're going to push for more power with Iron Man into mid. That's going to help us kind of elevate past their power point here. I think we're okay in start tower, especially after the Mjolnir triggers and gives Thor +6, and then we get another +1 from Wasp. And so maybe we try and go positive here, and we go ahead and snap back at them. It is a bot, so I don't know that they retreat at this point. Zombie Lemon, keep up the good work. Definitely enjoying your content. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate hearing all of the positivity and how much it helps you guys, and just that you guys are enjoying it, because that is, at the end of the day, what is most important to me, is that you guys are enjoying the content that I create. If it ever feels like it becomes like a grind, or I'm just doing it to do it, then maybe we need to take a step back and assess. But right now I'm really enjoying what we do, and the feedback has been phenomenal. Hey, Mark Stein.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
I love the gifted subs, because we get to then
it took you long enough.
There comes Jonathan Glass. So I do need to look at the notifications. The Wong pop-up is coming up, but one of my favorite things about the gifted sub interaction is that it continues to trigger my Wong joke throughout the entirety of the rest of the stream. So I get to hear it like 5, 10, 15 times throughout the stream, and it's I get a good laugh out of it. And so we are +4 now. Hey, Thiago. How's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. And thank you, everyone. It looks like we have 19 likes on the live stream. So thank you, everyone, that is joining. If you do enjoy the live streams, if you could give it a like, it does help the algorithm get the stream and the content out to a wider audience. Wait, isn't that the point of Wong, so that it keeps going forever? It is. I didn't even that's a different element to the dad joke, or the bad dad joke, that I didn't even realize. But yeah, it is the point of Wong, to keep those things going forever. And so we're gonna go ahead and play Thor. I don't think we get any upside from playing Iron Man here. We're gonna play Thor. That'll give us more chances to naturally draw into Mjolnir, even if we don't draw into Jane Foster. Snap brought me the dad jokes kept me around. I'm so glad that I found a platform that enjoys my poor dad jokes, because my family does not always appreciate them. My nieces, they just give me the biggest eye rolls anytime I tell them nowadays. And then my son, he's getting to the point where he's almost over them. And then Chauncey, either you joined us as a TLSG fan, or you received one of the gifted. Either way, thank you so much for being here and enjoying the content. But my stepson,
it took you long enough.
is over it. My daughter right now, she's young enough that she thinks it's funny, so I have to kind of absorb that and enjoy that while I can. I'm going to play Sunspot into the middle location. After a couple more turns, we will end up shuffling our cards back into our deck, so I don't know if maybe we want to push Nightcrawler now, or if we just let it get shuffled back in. Hey, you just joined. Yeah, thank you so much for jumping in and joining the stream. So far, we're +4. We've been up and down. It's been like a 4-cube game here, 4-cube loss there. But overall, the stream has been really positive nonetheless. I wouldn't even say it's just kinda. They just did Black. Black Bolt is tough to use. He has a very niche use that has been recently found out, but he's still hard to use at 5 energy nonetheless. So a cool interaction I like with him is if you do Wave the turn before and then you drop Black Bolt, that's going to make all of their cards equal cost. So you can potentially discard their highest power card instead of like a rock. But overall, he is very, very tough to use still. So we're going to go ahead and play Bishop, I think, into the middle location. And this is a bot, so I don't think we should have any problems pushing back up. Alexander, so many sponsorships. Yeah, I was just off for the 15 or 20 minutes. Yeah, so Jeremiah came in with a huge 5 gifted, and then we've had a lot of support otherwise jumping in and joining the stream. So Zombie Lemon came in as a super supporter, and so we've had a lot of positivity for this Friday live stream. So thank you guys for that. I think we're going to play our Angela and our Daredevil. I don't know that we need to push a lot of power here, though, is the only problem. We will be able to do a Jane Foster mid, which will draw into our Mjolnir, as long as we don't draw into it next turn, as long as we don't top deck it into it on turn 5. And then I think Bishop should be okay nonetheless. So I think we should be all right by stacking some of our power in the Project Pegasus lane. Hella is super strong. I need her. Yeah, she's very strong. And I think her biggest asset is that when you're playing her, you're able to easily assess like your in-game strength potential. If you don't draw into her, you know that it's most likely a loss, so you can retreat and conserve cubes. Whereas if you know you have the high roll at that point, you can kind of press your advantage. So we're gonna do Jane Foster here. I think next turn we probably end up going with the negative Iron Man here. Because the Mjolnir will kick in, it will push our Thor up to the next level. And I think we should be able to overcome their power. Actually, we should probably snap, right? It's a bot. We should push our power where we can. Possibly awkward. I just mentioned the wave thing before, but I didn't see it. Sorry about that. Yeah, he really needs a touch up. I think it's tricky though. You don't think we even need Iron Man left, Jeremiah? Oh, actually, you're right, because this will be 6, and then, I mean, actually, we could just play the Mjolnir there, right? Because 6 will push it up to 17. The Angela will push it up to 18, 19. That's like cutting it absolutely close. But I think you're right. I don't think they have anything else. I don't know. That makes me nervous, though. Oh, okay, the lizard will reduce. You're right. I was nervous about a blue Marvel or something that would buff them up. Actually, at that point, could a Spectrum come in? They have a lot of ongoing cards. Could a Spectrum come in? That will put them at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it would be 20. So with Spectrum, it would end up being 20. So I think we need to push something there. Maybe we do Mjolnir here. We do 0 here. We can cancel that out with Wasp. We do Iron Man mid. Wait, Chauncey, you said I worry about this as it's a bot. They see all your plays. Yeah, they do. But we're gonna shift for it anyways. I mean, they could push their power into the right lane instead. Oh no, the Mjolnir counter. Okay. Huge. That's absolutely huge. Oh no. We still come up over it, I think, because of the Project Pegasus lane. Oh, the Cosmos never cease to be just insane from the bots. The bots are absolutely ruthless. They don't hold back. We do still get the upside because of the lizard reduction, but oh my gosh. Thor had to go in with his fists instead. He couldn't pull Mjolnir in. We still did get the upside of the 8 cubes. We were positive 12, but oh my gosh. No matter how many times the bot perfectly counterplays me, it still surprises me every single time. Yeah, it's absolutely a roller coaster. Ooh, and then we have Q again. So we know that they have an insane deck. And actually Q's in the stream. I assume that they bounce out for a little bit whenever we match up. So Q has an insane deck that really counters a lot of greedy or high roll style decks. So it had Sandman, it had Leech. So we're going to need to kind of play strategically and maybe push out more resources than we normally would. when so confident, but bots always swing the game. Like the late collection log bots are next level. They are absolutely ruthless. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Nightcrawler in Space Throne. That'll allow us to kind of keep it open just in case Q gets any kind of cheeky ideas. And we'll be able to move him at some point. I think we still keep our Wasp in hand for now, though. One bad thing I don't like about Cosmo is that you can't switch him off. Yeah, so once he's there, he's there. Ooh, and Sokovia comes in. It discards their leader, but it discards our Thor, which is a pretty big power play for us, especially with the Space Throne. And we can't play large cards here. Ooh, this looks like a Jane Foster Space Throne lane, which is absolutely not ideal. If you're here and you're listening, if you snap, we will retreat, like, post-haste. We will retreat right away. Because Crimson Cosmos really kinks us up quite a bit. We will be able to play Wasp, Iron Man, and potentially Jane in this lane, and move Nightcrawler over, but I don't think we're going to be able to be competitive without Thor in this one. Wait, Q? His name is Q, just Q. DaddyGamingNightly. Oh, it's the leech guy. Yeah, he has a pretty ruthless leech. Oh no, the Killmonger. Oh, okay. The Killmonger's rough too. I mean, I don't... Oh. This doesn't look great, guys. This definitely doesn't look great. Thor, when Sakaar location reveals, he said, no, I'm out. I don't want to go to Sokovia. Pilk, yeah. Q's deck is a massive counter to a lot of... like, it's like a grief deck. And I don't think it's necessarily countered towards like one particular deck either. I think it just works well against like greedy decks, ones that either push their power late or they have a couple of particular cards. Oh, we're gonna retreat, guys. I don't think we take this abuse any longer. The Hobgoblin, there's no way to come up over that. Our only chance would be like a Jane Foster here and then Iron Man here, but that's 8 power is not something I want to like bet my cubes on. But yeah, Q's deck is a heavy hitter for sure. It's definitely non-meta, but it breaks a lot of the meta style decks. So if they have anything that's more than 8 power, so if they have their actually, no. So if they have their destroyer, Hey, DaddyGamingNightly, thank you so much for the super chat. Another piece of pie for us. So actually, if they do destroyer, right? And Q, if you're watching, don't close your ears for a second. If they do destroyer in the left lane, then that kills their Sandman. They're anticipating winning this one and this one. This would make us tie for this lane. We would win, I guess, just by 14 here, right? So they would win by 16. We would win by 14. So even if they did destroyer, it wouldn't swing it for us. Had we been able to play Wasp here as well, absolutely, we would have been able to push that advantage. But I think this is definitely a retreat, guys. We tried to stick it out and see if there was a way to claw our way back, but there just unfortunately does not seem to be a way to do that. So we we got our 1. So now it's time for you to get your 4 wins in a row again. And definitely give us a hard time. And then Taylor, I would love reactions for locations. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I think I'd like it for locations a little bit more than even cards. And then Q, you said good game. I was gonna play Destroyer on the throne. Yeah, so that's what I had anticipated was your Destroyer on the throne. So I had planned on counterplaying Jane Foster mid, which would have tied us for that lane because it would have killed your Sandman there. But you would have won the left by 16. We would have won the right by 14. And so you would have still came out with the win. So the Sandman counter did hurt us. Otherwise, we could have dropped our Wasp as well. I think that would have been just what we needed to make it happen. But very, very good game. Your deck never fails to give us a hard time. And then Pops, hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. And then Osorio, thank you so much for jumping in and joining us. So we're going to do the Sunspot, the Daredevil, into the unknown location. Since we've already invested some resources there, we might as well invest a few more. That is beautiful. We're going to go ahead and snap off of that. I think Dude Bro may retreat unless they have a deck that can go wide. And then I think we play our Scorpion just to impact the cards that they have in their hand for now. And then see if they want to risk the additional cube. So when you play into the unknown, it turns into Sanctum Sanctorum. That's always huge. Definitely always a huge plus, but it also always is rough when it turns into like Bar with No Name or even Murder World, which that one was revealed, but it always hurts when you play resources and they surprise get killed on turn 3 by a turn 3 location. And so I don't think we drop our Maximus. I think we just kind of wait for a bit. We'll drop our Nightcrawler, not into Hellfire Club because we can't. We'll drop our Nightcrawler. I think next turn we do Thor, Jane Foster, and then we can play the other ones. I think that's going to be more important than pushing 7 power now. At least early on, I think it'll be more beneficial for us. And then Pilk, you said new Assassin's Creed game was announced earlier. So I actually haven't gotten into Assassin's Creed. I've played a lot of games and done a lot of like console style gaming. Assassin's Creed was just never one I was able to get into. I think it's the free world games. Like Fallout, it was huge, but I just wasn't able to get into it either. So I think Jane Foster is going to be incrementally better here than our Thor play. And they do drop a Jubilee. So maybe we drop Jane Foster here, and then we can always finish capping out this location next turn. I don't know that they're going to have a way to go wide, so if we can just lock down 1, then I think we're okay. Punisher is solid and consistent. Punisher's okay. I think as far as a 3-drop, he's on the weaker side, but since he synergizes with other ongoing cards, I definitely think, oh no, the magic Thor turns out would have been better there because we have the additional turn now. So maybe we go ahead and do Thor then. Go for the potential extreme high roll. We can do Iron Man to cap out this lane later. We can move cards over. And maybe even push a little bit of power into limbo just in case we need it. Jeremy, yeah, I agree that with open world, I always find I don't know what I'm even doing in those games. Yeah, so I lose interest a little bit quicker in those games than others. I don't know, and it's probably a really linear way of thinking. Maximus plus Thor is 7 energy though. Or Iron Man plus Thor's. Oh, you're right. Iron Man would have been better, right? But if we do... Yeah. As long as they can't go wide, we're okay here. Even if they copy their Iron Man here, I don't know that they have another card that can go up higher. Maybe a Devil Dino, but that's still going to have to be a pretty high roll play. And they could do it. They have the energy. 7 energy could do a Dino and a Mystique. I think we stick it out anyways, though. Dude, bro, if you take away all of our cube gains from today, we will be very, very sad. But we do have a good power push in the Iron Man, and the Mjolnir top deck was huge. So it's going to be really hard to be competitive with that much power. And so they do have the Mystique, which copies Iron Man. It does have a -1, which is decent because it got hit with our Scorpion. And then what comes in for that last card, it's a Wolfsbane, which caps it out is pretty big, but is it enough? Not quite. Not quite able to get there because of the top deck of Mjolnir came in absolutely clutch for us. We got very, very lucky with that top deck. The second dinner gods are smiling upon us. They want us to have a really positive stream today. Have we really only been live for 17 minutes and we're positive 19? Usually by this point we've been live for like 50 minutes and we're having to end. So definitely a very, very good start to the stream so far. Yeah, the Scorpion did work. And Scorpion is kind of like, for me, kind of like Korg or Iceman. It's an effect that you don't necessarily see all of the time, but it can really disrupt their entire game plan. And so with the -1, it actually impacted them by -2 because of the Iron Man, and it can really escalate from there. Turns out the deck is pretty good. Yeah, no, whenever someone is second on the game's overall event, like cube gain event, and they are a high collection level, that tells me the deck has to be pretty consistent, which is why I wanted to try it, because a lot of the competitors for our current events are lower collection, so they're going against like pool 2 bots, pool 2 decks, and so since he is around 3,000 collection log and still able to push for, I think, second overall is huge. Oh no, why are we dropping? Oh no, why are we dropping Jane Foster? I said we're too negative, or we're too yeah Bishop plus Nightcrawler. I wasn't paying attention. I was just going for the highest energy drop. Oh no, we're choking. But Bishop plus Nightcrawler. You always want to play Bishop first to get the overall. I did. It was calculated. We wanted Wasps to draw into our other cards. To draw into our other cards more consistently. But Bishop, you definitely always want to drop first, so that you can gain some additional upside from him by having him on the board early. I think we're going to pass on turn 2, actually. That way we can drop our Bishop, and then we can kind of fill in the board with the rest of our cards. Never mind, we can't play Bishop. Oh, and the Sokovia comes in huge for him, discarding their Apocalypse. Oh, no. Okay. This could be pretty bad, guys. I think this may be a retreat-style game for us, but we are going to go ahead and just play a couple of cards. We're going to see what drops in X-Mansion. Maybe it drops us an Infinite and them a Wasp. We can hope, right? X-Mansion swing, Lockjaw, so that makes it hard for them to play their resources into that location. So that gives us a little bit of upside at least. Since they're not running like a high roll style deck, they want to kind of control what drops and where. X-Mansion, I think, will be a tough one for them. This is starting to look like a retreat. Yeah, with the early Jane Foster, with the huge Apocalypse they have, it is most likely a retreat. But unless they snap, there's no harm in us kind of feeling it out a little bit further. I'm going to go ahead and drop Scorpion. That way it'll negatively affect the cards that they have for now. And then Addy, we are plus 19 so far, but we are about to be a positive 18 instead as soon as we retreat this one. It's not looking good for us. We're going to drop Scorpion. If we can draw into Dracula, okay, so we want to avoid the Sokovia lane, which is actually kind of interesting to me because they can't naturally drop anything into X-Mansion without it switching, right? Hey Umais, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. and then Bishop decided to take a vacation to Sokovia just like Thor did. Ooh, and so we have Hellcow. We have initiative though. I kind of think I want to play Maximus here. That's going to force them to draw into 2 cards that they may not want to be discarded. Give it a less likely chance for them to discard their Apocalypse as well. Or you can save it and use it against Maximus. You're right. But I don't know that we compete for the Sokovia lane either. This at least forces them to get rid of those resources, so maybe they can't have as high of a role to play. And I think the way that we're looking at it, we're going to push our power into the left lane and mid, and just assume that Dracula does draw into something large in Sokovia. So here I'm going to play our Angela. I think that'll be the play. Next turn we can do Iron Man in Project Pegasus if we need to come up over their power level. We may be able to sneak this one out. Q, are you Machiavelli? Was that towards me or to someone else? And so I didn't even see what they discarded. One of them was Apocalypse, right? Oh, Q. That's okay. I was just curious if who it was towards. We could do Sunspot. We could do Wasp. If they hold, Apocalypse plus Lady Sif. Okay. Actually, we don't need this much power. Yeah, we need a decent power push, so we have to get over like 21 because of the Morbius discard from Dracula. So I think Iron Man has to be here. Hey Andrew, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. So I think Iron Man has to be here. I don't know that this is enough power in expansion, but it becomes a lottery for them if they play cards here because it could flip. I think we're gonna go to the Lockjaw lottery and see what we can come up with. Ow, they can move Nightcrawler. If they move Nightcrawler, we still have a pretty large push from Iron Man. Maybe we get lucky. We are having a positive stream, so maybe we continue that luck. They move Nightcrawler over, so they have 4 power there guaranteed. It all comes down to the Lockjaw lottery. If we can win that upside. So they discard their Apocalypse one more time, which is okay, because that will be absorbed by Dracula. We're not competing for the Sokovia lane. They flip into Swarm, which is not going to do it for them, right? It's not going to get them there. What looked like a absolute retreat game turned into a 2-cube win. Oh my gosh, the reach of this deck is insane. Like that's the good thing about having a low energy curve. You can adjust your power level whenever you get a read on what they're playing or their general play line. Oh my gosh, we should not have won that one. Bibamet is... I'm so sorry. I feel bad about that one, Biba. And then, whoa, the cube count. Yeah, we are making some solid gains today, guys. This Odinson deck is putting in absolute work for us. We are only 25 minutes into the stream, and we are positive 21. I'm not going to put it into the atmosphere about trying to beat PBs, but there is the possibility that is what happens. I'm going to drop Nightcrawler. We're going to eventually move him into Kunlun, I think, for a decent... I guess Fridays are just our cube generation day, right? Because last Friday was a positive 21. Man. So far, it's been very good on Fridays. Who told us about the positive stream at the beginning? Chauncey, I know. I hate even like thinking it into the atmosphere. But yeah, no, somebody called that it was gonna be a very positive stream day. And so far they've been very correct. There's still time for us to choke, but so far it's been pretty good. I don't think we play 0 here. I think we just pass, which sometimes feels wrong because you want to use your energy every turn. But if we ended up drawing into Thor next turn with the cards we have, we would be forced into a Maximus playline instead, when we would want to focus Thor ideally. So we can pass here. There's no real downside from passing here necessarily. Yeah, Jeremiah. I plan on moving the Kunlun, so this will be one of the lanes we compete with for. And then maybe something like Ruins, depending on what we draw into as well. Maybe a 0 and a Maximus here before Diablo. Oh, gotcha. That would have been a good heads up play, Jeremiah. We got lucky that Los Diablos base didn't destroy Kunlun, because then we wouldn't get the +2 anymore. So we did get fortunate. We can now wait and play it how we like whenever we need to. I think we start with a Maximus in Kunlun. That's going to give us a pretty powerful lane with 11 power once we move Nightcrawler over. And they don't have much on the board. Maybe they have a Mr. Negative deck. And that's what they're going to drop here. Yeah. And so if they follow up with Jane Foster, that may be one of those high rolled games where we end up needing to retreat, because it's going to be really hard to compete with a high roll with a deck that is designed to hit a high roll or a high ceiling power cap if they hit that high roll. And so I think we see what's played here, and then if it's a Jane Foster, maybe we retreat, and if not, then we kind of play it out. So they snap. If we see Jane Foster, we'll leave for the -1 because it's going to be an uphill battle from here. Ooh, so we don't. We see a Devil Dino and a Sunspot. And so we can avoid this lane. We don't have to compete for this one. The potential of a double Iron Man is tough, but they're not drawing into their negative resources either. So do we do a Bishop and a Scorpion? Do we do... We could split it, or we could do a Jane Foster. Next turn we can do an Iron Man either into Kunlun or Los Diablos base, depending on where we need it the most. I still don't think it's a great chance to win because we're going to have to guess where their Iron Man is. But we are having a pretty good lucky day, so we're going to try and stick it out for now. Yeah, and so the Devil Dino and Sunspot is beatable. I think it'll still takes a little bit of luck, but it is definitely doable. So we do have the Iron Man because they're going to have to push a lot of power into these lanes to get any kind of upside. Season ends when do we know? Gabriel, when do we know what gets nerfed? So from what they've done in the past, we won't know until the patch goes live. I think Kunlun is going to be where we need the resources the most. I mean, it may potentially be Los Diablos base that they stack the resources. I think it just comes down to a read of where they're pushing their power, and if they can push that much power. Do they go with the lane that they already have resources in? Do they go with a completely bare one? Actually, I think I'm going to pivot here. We're going to do Iron Man here. We're going to do Wasp in the left lane. I think if they're doing like an Iron Man play to push power, that it's going to be in Los Diablos base. I would drop mid if I was him. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. That they have the least gap to overcome from that middle location. And so, ooh, so they do drop mid. Is that a double Iron Man potential? No, they can't. They can't, can they? So it's a Taskmaster, which copies the Devil Dino, which isn't terrible. And then the Iron Man brings them up to 24, but that is not enough to do it. Oh my gosh, we can't miss today, guys.
Victory.
At some point, it's going to have to come crashing down, but just we are going to enjoy it while we while we're here. I mean, my gosh, got him just barely, just barely. Oh man, Fridays are the day for sure. 25 cubes. We are only 31 minutes in. We're having a heck of a day. We started off with Jeremiah gifting 5 subs. Oh no, Q, our nemesis, our eternal nemesis. He is accounted for more losses on our live streams than I think any other individual person. So let's go, the Leech guy. His deck is more than just Leech, but Leech definitely hurts quite a bit. So we are going to pass on turn 1. And then Jeremiah. That's exactly what. Yeah, I like Texas Hold'em. That's where you can get the biggest gains. Is if they think that they have the win and you can just barely come up over it, because that's going to encourage them to drop a lot more. So if you have just a slightly higher flush than they do, you can get a lot more money out of them than if they just had a mediocre or bad hand. It's harder to fold a good hand to a better hand. As long as he's a supporter of the stream, I guess we can allow the beatdowns. Yeah, we definitely can. So we're going to go ahead and do a Scorpion here into the unknown location. I don't know that that's great, but I don't like the sewer system. Why can't we have Fridays every day? No kidding, Andrew. Christy, is he sniping? I don't think so. He said that he tabs out whenever we're playing. His deck is just a good counter to a lot of powerful decks right now. So I wouldn't say he's sniping. And if so, it's not the end of the world. But I don't think he is. I think we play our bishop in. Savage Land. Next turn we do Thor. Turn 5, maybe we do a Thor. That will allow us to push power into Savage Land. Unless they drop their Sandman here on 4, that would be rough. It'd be a pretty hard counter to our potential. Okay. So never mind. The Cosmo is not going to be, or the Thor into the cloning vats is not going to be it. That is not going to be the play. So we have to go and try to overcome Sewer System instead. So we can do Thor. Next turn we can do Jane Foster here. Unless we top deck into Mjolnir, and then we can play it. No, we can't play it. We can't play it in cloning vats at all. Okay. We have to be careful about where we play our Honorville card. Oh no, the double Cosmo is huge. Definitely huge. We may end up retreating from this one. I can't wait to have friends and private matches in this game. Yeah, I think the friendly mode or the friendly games are gonna be huge. Are gonna be a huge boon for the game overall. Because then you can do some really creative things. You can test out your decks. You can make sure that it's good against certain matchups, that sort of thing. So I think we're going to do Maximus because his Honorville is not going to trigger. That will give us another Maximus. We play Angela in the left lane. We can then follow up with another Maximus over in the Sewer System or Cloning Vats or mid, depending on what we see them play this turn. Okay, and so I think that's probably the play. They do run a Destroyer in this deck, and so if they drop it into one of the lane... Ooh, so the Professor X comes down, but it is not enough because of the large Maximus. So I think that might be GG, right? We can do Maximus, we can do 0, which will make this lane huge. That's going to make this a... Do we need to do the math on it? Do we need to do the math? So dropping Maximus is going to be 6, 0 is going to be 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12 from the Sewer System, an additional 12, which puts us over what they could potentially drop with the Destroyer. And if they do a leader here, actually they'd have to do leader here, and so it would copy the cards, but it's not going to swing it for them. I think we're confident. That may be a bad read, but I think we're confident here. Even a leader play is not going to swing the Sewer System because they can't drop leader there, and it won't be enough to... Oh no, Q! Oh no. Q. I mean, we snapped. We can't retreat now, right? We have to lean in. We have to lean all the way in. Do they have a way to buff? Do they have a way to buff their Professor X? I mean, no, they can't do a Destroyer and. So let's go ahead and see. If this is the Destroyer play, then we do have the large Maximus lead. And I think it should be all good. Yeah, they don't have a Nova out on the board, so they're not going to be able to turn that up. So Q coming back, being generous with the snapback. So is that 33? Yeah. My math on these 8 cube games is getting a little bit rusty, and so very good game, Q. We finally got the upside with the Maximus into the cloning vats was huge for us. I thought your Cosmo was just going to completely brick us, and so it did take some maneuvering, but we got there. But very good game, Q. We are going to open our season cash, which is just boosters. It would have been cool to have a cool variant pop up there, just to kind of like cap out the Friday the rest of the way, but that's okay. Actually, no, we've been live longer than 30 minutes, right? Oh my gosh, we've been live an hour. That's why it feels so long. I started recording, and we've been recording for 40 minutes, live for an hour and 5. So this may be our last game, guys. You guys weren't even going to tell me. You guys were just going to let it soak up the positivity. Oh my gosh. So we're going to drop Sunspot into the far right lane. But yeah, tournaments are going to be huge. And they did say that they wanted to implement a guild like system. because of 33 cubes. They did say that they wanted to implement a guild system, so I think we're going to have a guild form at some point, depending on how they make it happen. It could be pretty entertaining to have. No, DaddyGamingNightly, no, you're still on the 30-minute mark. Oh man, we were at an hour and 5 minutes. My boss would be like, "What? Why'd you take a long lunch?" I'd say I didn't. It was right at an hour. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh man, how awful. So I think we're gonna play our night. Do we even worry about playing our Nightcrawler here? I don't think we need to. We're gonna skip. We're gonna let Sunspot absorb some energy, and then Kamartaj is pretty big for us if we can draw into Thor on 4. The TLSG guild, sign me up. Yeah, and I mean, in true TLSG fashion, I'll have to have some kind of bad pun, and so maybe we'll do some kind of community event to figure out what the name would be if we can name it. I think would be really fun to do. So I think we drop our bishop into X Mansion. I think Kamartaj is going to be a pretty decent lane for us as long as we can draw into some of our on reveal cards. And so I think pushing for X Mansion, we're going to the X Mansion gamble here, but I think we lean into it. Don't end the stream when you win streak. I enjoy playing very much, but I also enjoy having a job where I can pay my bills. And ooh, what a beautiful top deck! No, get out of X Mansion. You don't want to go there. You want to go to Kamartaj. What a beautiful top deck for this Friday. The Biofreeze Guild. Oh man, the Biofreezes. So we're gonna drop Thor into Kamartaj. The only downside is that we don't have Jane Foster in hand. So we're gonna potentially draw into 2 Mjolnirs, but I mean even that's a pretty negligible downside when you can drop them both into Kamartaj to just make that an absolute unit of a lane. So let's go ahead and lock in the Thor. We might want to snap. Maybe we can push for a positive 40 if they stick it out all the way to the end. And so Gary, you said you may have mentioned this before, but does TLSG stand for anything? So it stands for that live stream guy. And so long story short, about probably 6 to 8 years ago, I had a stream for all of like 2 weeks, and the viewers at that point. I thought it would be funny to have that live stream guy. That way you watch the stream and you're like, hey, have you seen that live stream guy? And they're like, which one? And I don't know. I thought it was funny at the time. But chat shortened it to TLSG for short, for chatting purposes, and it just kind of stuck from there. I think we're going to go ahead and play our Nightcrawler and our Zero. Do we need to buff up the... No, not Wasp. Oh, guys, I got to pay attention. We're going to do Nightcrawler and then Zero. Next turn, we can start with a Wasp to cancel out that effect, depending on what we draw into. And if it's a Mjolnir, that's beautiful. We can drop Iron Man wherever we need to, either here or here, and then Mjolnir in the Kamartaj lane. And so I don't feel confident enough with what we have to snap, but... And then, let's see, replacement for Wasp. Just any good tech card. You could potentially do Chavez, but I do like my turn 6 draws. So like here, for example, knowing that we have Chavez coming in would be really difficult to overcome for us. It's so beautiful. We get Mjolnir. But yeah, I think any like low-cost card or maybe Chavez to keep your curve consistent, you want to be able to flood the board no matter what order you draw your cards into. So you win, continue. You win, continue. We can't today. I think we move our Nightcrawler out. We do Iron Man here. That is going to give us a much larger lane than they currently have. We can do Mjolnir into the double trigger here. And then, oh, wait. Wasp was our last one, right? Wasp was our last card. We almost zeroed out our Iron Man. Oh my gosh. Thank you, chat. You have my back. Oh man, that was almost terrible. Almost absolutely just a train wreck. Oh gosh. And so I think we do it in this order. We push a little bit of power into Hala just in case they don't drop anything there. They're going to have to go down to the Lockjaw Lottery to try to win Kamar Taj. Even if they get something like a Dr. Doom that pushes bots here and here, that's not enough to win this lane for them and this lane unless they flip into an Infinite. So I do see a couple of paths where we could lose, but they're very, very high roll and very unlikely. So let's go ahead and lock this one in. Zombie, that was scary. Oh, yeah, it was very, very scary. Ooh, so they just dropped one card. What are they dropping in? Oh, a magic?
Iron Man.
Would it be a magic? To extend the game for him one turn?
Mjolnir, to me.
Oh, or maybe, oh, is that a leader? Is that the leader play? But that wouldn't win them the middle location. No, so it's just Giganto. Okay. We read into a lot of different variations of that, but Giganto was nowhere amongst them. So that brings us up to a massive 37 cube gain for the stream. Absolute crusher of a deck. It's not flashy. It's not 10,000 points in one lane to win like Omega Red, but one thing that it is absolutely consistent. I wish that we could keep going, but we do have to head back to our primary job. But we are going to end it on a very, very high note today, guys. Thank you all so much for the support. Thank you, Jeremiah, for the gifted subs. Thank you, Zombie Lemon, for jumping in as a Team Super Supporter. And then everyone else that joined us, all of the donations. Thank you so very much for all of the positivity, the continued support. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I may not be live on Monday. If I do, I made a community post about it on the YouTube channel, but if I'm live, it's going to be during my daughter's nap time, and so it would probably be around 12:30, a couple hours later than what we normally start. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. For those of you in the U.S. that are celebrating the U.S. holiday, I hope that you have a great holiday weekend, a great extended weekend. And then with that, I am going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you guys so much again for just being here and in supporting us. This has been TLSG. Later, guys.